Well, good evening, everyone. I'm WLKY meteorologist Matt Milosevich in the WLKY Weather Center. I want to get you an update on a recent tornado warning that was issued for portions of extreme southern Taylor County. This is south of Campbellsville along the Adair County line and also north of Columbia. This is going to go until 8:15 Eastern time, 7:15 for the central time zone there into southern Kentucky. Recently, what has been a series of storms that were producing hailstones and even some strong high wind gusts, there's been a little bit of turning on the southern edge of that system. And so again, right between really over Green River, south of Campbellsville, even though you have quite a bit of thunderstorm activity near Campbellsville and off to the east, it is the southern portion of this storm that's going to be pushing on off towards the east and southeast. That does have some indication of some generally weak rotation with it, but it is held together for the last couple of scans of the radar with that rotation. That's prompted the tornado warning from the National Weather Service. Chief Meteorologist Jay Cardosi running the radar for me, and you can see right in that area he has highlighted where that rotation has prompted the warning. That is north of you. In Columbia, you are not under the tornado warning in Columbia, Kentucky, nor are you in Campbellsville. It is in between, so it's a mainly rural area, but again, right around Green River Lake and off to the south and east as you get headed towards Russell Springs. So this is the northern portions of Adair County. Russell Springs around 812. That is outside of the WLKY viewing area, but near the Nifley area, north of Columbia. That's where we'll have the opportunity for at least a brief spin-up tornado. These storms have also been hail makers so far this evening, and you can see on our hail tracker, this gives you kind of a history of where that storm has produced hailstones with it, and so we could still get hail perhaps to the size of quarters in the core of this storm, and also 60-mile-per-hour wind gust in that main area of rotation. Very heavy rainfall as well. We've seen over 3 inches of rain back into Grayson County with the heavy rain they've seen around Litchfield and the very intense rain. Now, it's not going to pour like this for the entire hour, but for a couple of minutes, we're talking about anywhere from 6 to 8 inches of rain per hour. That's the rainfall rate right now. So very intense rain. That could cause some flooding. We'll watch for some hail, high winds, and that rotation that's prompted the tornado warning that is going to be in effect until 8:15. So for about the next 25 minutes. I do think by that time, this area of rotation, and again, here's Green River Lake, that area of rotation will push off to the east and southeast, will likely be out of the WLKY region before that 8:15 time frame. But as it pushes off towards the east and southeast, that does take it a little closer to the Russell Springs area. But this storm has kind of pulsed and ramped up just a little bit in the recent scans of the radar. I do want you to notice, though, farther up to the north, from the metro, much of the WLKY region, we're talking about just rain showers and a few rumbles of thunder and no severe weather. It's been mainly, and we've been talking about this so far today, generally to the south and west that we'll be watching for still the potential for some strong and even isolated severe storms. There's another cell that's getting ready to move into Grayson County, so right along the Western Kentucky Parkway in Ohio County. So heads up Caneyville, Litchfield. There's another one behind it. But overall, as these storms continue to push on to the east, at times they've had a tougher time holding together. I think that'll start to be the trend as the main focus for severe weather actually takes shape farther out to the west of our region as we move forward in time through the later evening and overnight period. So we'll continue to keep you advised on that. You can see what's starting to take shape back off to the north and west of us, these lines of showers and thunderstorms into what is some extreme humidity and warmth, very tropical. So that's where the main zone of concern is going to be. But again, farther off towards and into the WLKY region, it's that storm right there that has prompted a tornado warning until 8:15 for portions of Adair County right along the Taylor County line. So this is the Green River Lake area, Nifley as well, north of Cane Valley, north of Columbia. But we'll continue to monitor the turning of the winds within this storm that overall hasn't been overly high. But what we can see here is also we get some curvature to that wind, perhaps a straight line wind gust there through northern portions of Adair County. And at times, again, there's some weak rotation within that as well. So the National Weather Service prompted that as a radar indicated tornado warning for the northern portions of Adair County, north of the Cumberland Parkway. As we look at some inside of the storm, the potential that a few of the hailstones get perhaps a half an inch to maybe up to a quarter size, but I think most of it will be below that, and these 2-inch plus per hour rainfall rates. So blinding rain that could cause some minor flooding concerns, also some hail and high wind gusts with this storm moving on through. We'll put the cloud tops too on top of this, and this is something that gives you an idea. The tops of these thunderstorms going up to 50,000 feet at times. You see that 40,000 feet. There's some others down towards southern Kentucky that have been pushing that 50,000 foot top, so they tower high into the atmosphere, can pick up the wind energy, plenty of warmth and humidity that we have had to fuel those thunderstorms. And also sometimes when those storms start to collapse or come down, they can put down some pretty strong wind gusts. We have had reports around our southern communities of not just flooding, but some trees, some power lines down at times. So while it has not been severe into the metro today or down towards Elizabethtown, we'll continue to watch off to the south and southwest as some of these storms could still be strong to severe. Right now in the metro, yeah, you see the rainy conditions that we have out there, and it's been a soaker so far this evening, and that rain will continue for the next couple of hours. It's not until late evening and overnight that we'll start to see some drier conditions build in across the WLKY area. So we monitor off towards portions of Adair County and a little farther out to the west and western Kentucky for a few cells that could still, again, produce some at least isolated severe weather with a brief spin up tornado, perhaps some larger hail, as well as a brief high wind gust. Quite a bit of embedded rain, heavier rainfall too. Chief Meteorologist Jay Cardosi is over in the Weather Center as well. And Jay, anything that you see on the radar that looks particularly like it would put down a tornado imminently?
Yeah, first of all, Matt, excuse my voice. It went out yesterday, so I apologize for that. But you know what? The rotation has weakened quite a bit, Matt, there in northern portions of Adair County. So between Columbia and Mifflin, perhaps a higher wind gust, maybe a little bit of hail. But aside from that, this rotation continues to weaken as it moves off in a southeasterly direction. And this is going to be pulling out of the viewing area altogether. So Matt, certainly some strong winds, a possibility down in far eastern Adair County. But as far as a tornado threat right now, a tornado threat, it looks fairly minimal at this time.
Okay. Hey, Jay, I'm going to let you know, I think they're having a little trouble with your microphone, too. But in case you weren't able to hear, Chief Meteorologist Jay Cardosi basically saying that we are looking at this cell. And while there has been a little bit of rotation, nothing imminent there. It's a very weak indication, I think, that there could be a tornado in northern and eastern portions of Adair County. So we keep close eyes on it. It goes until 8:15, and we cover tornado warnings for the entire WLKY region, and our southernmost county is Adair County. The good news is, Campbellsville, you are free and clear from this tornado warning. This is just off to your south. Same can be said of Columbia. It's in between those two cities where we're seeing the worst of this storm. Right around the Mifflin area, you can see some of the red, the highlighted areas of the core of this storm that could produce some brief periods of severe weather. And it is this little area of rotation, weak as it may be. I'll tell you what, farther to our south, down in the middle portions of Tennessee and out towards the west, there have been confirmed tornadoes on the ground today. So this gives you an idea of the very energetic environment for thunderstorms and severe thunderstorms that are in our region. Thankfully, we're kind of just on the edge of that in our southern communities, so we're not talking about widespread severe weather across the WLKY region. But as you head especially down toward the Cumberland Parkway, we still continue to monitor that little area into northern portions of Adair County as it moves off to the east and southeast. It will be exiting Adair County as we get closer to the 8 o'clock hour. with this particular storm that pushes off to the east at about 30 miles per hour. So we're looking at Barnett Springs, that's far northern Adair County, and likely just north of Russell Springs as it pushes east of the WLKY region. But we're going to take you through the next couple of scans of this radar to make sure that everyone across the WLKY area stays safe. Green River Lake right here along the Taylor and Adair County line. It's starting to move away from you and pushing on off towards the east. Further out to the west, Greensburg, you have some rain and some steady rain with you and even a few rumbles of thunder. Nothing severe there, as well as further off towards the north. We're pretty quiet. We're going to keep eyes on that little band of rain that's moving in towards portions of Caneyville and western Grayson County. It could still hold a couple of stronger cells. And again, it's going to follow a similar path than the last couple of storms that at times have gotten strong to severe. But I do think what's going to happen over the next couple of hours, as we not only continue to see more in the way of showers and thunderstorms that cool the atmosphere, rain out the instability, we'll start to see, I think, overall a downward trend in the potential for strong to severe thunderstorms as we make our way through tonight. Also, keep in mind, there's still a tornado watch in effect for parts of the area south and west of Louisville. That's going to go until 10 o'clock. So for the next couple of hours, immediately south and west of the metro. But the overall highest potential for tornadoes tonight and into tomorrow will stay a little further away from the WLKY region. But nonetheless, we have eyes on that storm down in towards Adair County. Quite a bit of rain, though, into the metro. And keep in mind, we've had some soggy weather the past couple of days, and so the ground is saturated. There is a flash flood watch across the area until tomorrow morning. And this is where we've seen anywhere from 1 to 3, even 3.5 inches of rain down around Grayson County and Litchfield. So it's been absolutely pouring. There's been some flood advisories issued in those areas. So if you find yourself going across low water crossings, you want to be really careful out there, especially as we get a little closer to the dark of evening over the next hour to hour and a half. That will increase the flood threat in terms of how it will affect you if you have any travel plans through Grayson County, because that's another batch of heavy rain moving right over portions of the county that have already had 3.5 inches of rain. So by the time this is all said and done, we could see some locations pushing upwards of 4 inches of rain in a short period of time, coming off of a couple of days that have already been soggy with the tornado potential. Jay, if we can, you want to get another look here into Adair County, it's our southernmost county. It's why we're on right now, because this tornado warning issued by the National Weather Service goes until 8:15. And from time to time within this cell, we have seen some rotation, and that is in the far northern to northeastern portions of Adair County, very rural area of our WLKY region, but that's going to push on off towards the east along the KC and Adair County line here pretty quickly, and I think go north of Russell Springs. So we're going to give it a couple more scans of the radar before we get this tornado warning out of here and we get you back to your regular programming for prime time. As we look at storm velocity images, some of the deeper or lighter shades of green rather is where you could see some of these stronger, even straight line wind gusts, a possibility with this, perhaps upwards of 60 miles per hour. Hail has been a threat in our southern communities as well so far today through portions of Hart, Greene, Taylor, northern Adair County, back over into Grayson County. At times, some of the hailstones have gotten as large as ping pong ball size. At least that's what the indications were on the radar. So we've had some damaging storms, but notice where that hail track was, all down toward the south. So farther north, as you get along and north of the parkways, the chances for rain, or excuse me, for severe weather go off. And all right, so we're going to get you back here to regular programming. We just crossed the 8 o'clock hour. It looks like the main tornado threat into northern portions of Adair County is starting to wane and push on off towards the east. And so as it does, it'll get out of the WLKY region. And Chief Meteorologist Jay Cardosi just told me that the tornado warning was just canceled. So very good news there. All right, we're going to continue to keep you updated here from the WLKY Weather Center. Remember, we'll have our newscast of MeTV at 10, and right here on WLKY at 11 o'clock, we'll give you the latest on what will be improving conditions through the end of the week. Now let's get you back to your programs.